Hello and welcome back to another video on Immigration to Canada series. So today's video is about of course immigration to Canada, but this video is for those who are just starting their immigration to Canada journey, and so this is a beginner's video on various options to immigrate to Canada, and we will talk about all the things you need to know before you start, and what are the various options you have to immigrate to Canada under various programs. So let's begin. So as you all know, there are 13 provinces in Canada, and 11 provinces run their immigration programs, and there is also a program run by the federal government. So let us look at various options you have to immigrate to Canada. So the first one is the express entry. This is the most popular one, and it is run by the federal government. And the second options, you have the provincial nomination programs run by various provinces in Canada. Then we also have two other separate programs run by the province, which is the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program and the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program. And we also have a Agri Food Pilot Program, and there is also programs run by Quebec. So Quebec is a different province in Canada, and Quebec has agreement with IRCC, and they follow different rules. So it is not a very popular option to immigrate to Canada, but it is a option for someone who is very good in French language. Then this is a very good option. And we also have some other options like the refugee or family sponsorship, caregivers, self-employment, startup visas, or business visas. So we will only talk about the most popular ones, which is the top 5 ones on this list you can see right now. So let us look at one by one. And before we start looking at these options, so let us quickly understand who can apply to this various programs. So for express entry, for applying under this program, and mind you, this is not a complete eligibility requirement, this is just an overview of the various immigration programs and who can apply to these programs. So for express entry, so any candidate with or without Canadian experience can apply under express entry from within or outside Canada. For provincial nomination programs, this program is for candidate having connections to the province, either by work experience, studies, or any family connections, or for candidate having a valid express entry profile. Atlantic Immigration Program is also for candidate with or without Canadian experience, and international students studied in any of the Atlantic provinces can apply to this program from within or outside Canada. For Rural and Northern Immigration Program, this program is for candidates with or without Canadian experience or have graduated from post-secondary institutes in the participating communities. The fifth one is the Agri Food Pilot Program. So this program is for anyone having Canadian work experience through temporary foreign work program in eligible industries and occupations. Then we also have the Quebec Skilled Workers Program for candidates holding a Quebec selection certification from the government of Quebec. Before you apply to any of this program, it is very crucial to have these two documents. So the first one is your IELTS score and your ECA report. So if you don't know what ECA is, so we will talk about later in this video about ECA. And so once you have these two documents, these are the two mandatory documents, you are ready to begin your journey for immigration to Canada. So let us talk more about the most popular immigration program out there, which is the Express Entry. So if you don't know what Express Entry is, so it's an electronic system used by IRCC. So IRCC is the authority which is governing all the immigration in Canada. So it stands for Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada. So they use this system, which is the Express Entry system, to select applications for permanent residencies. So under Express Entry there are 3 programs. These are different immigration programs. Under Express Entry you can apply to get your permanent residency. So the first one is the Federal Skilled Workers Program. Then you also have the Canadian Experience Class Program and the Federal Skilled Trade Program. So for complete eligibility, I have shared a link in the description, so you can check your eligibility under these 3 programs. And if you find yourself eligible in any one of this program, it is time for you to create your Express Entry profile. And once you create your Express Entry profile, the system will calculate your CRS score. So if you don't know what CRS score is, we will cover that in the later part of this video. So for now, you only have to remember that you need to have 2 documents for immigration to Canada, or before you start your application, and which is your IELTS score and your EC report. And once you have that, you are ready to create your Express Entry profile, which is your first step in your journey to immigration to Canada. And you can also check your CRS score without creating your Express Entry profile. For that you can use the CRS tool to know your CRS score. Let us now quickly understand what CRS score is. So CRS stands for Comprehensive Ranking System. So it's a point-based system used to access and give scores to your profile in Express Entry. So once you enter your profile in Express Entry, your profile gets a score out of 1200. And why CRS score is important? Because this CRS scores is used by IRCC to invite candidates for permanent residencies. So there is a cutoff CRS score whenever there is an invitation for permanent residencies are sent to the candidates. So there is a cutoff score for CRS score. So your goal is to improve your CRS score so that you maximize your chances of getting the invitation for permanent residency. So we discussed the Express Entry, which is a federal run program. Now let us look at the provincial nomination programs, also known as PNP programs, for immigration to Canada. So let us quickly understand what provincial nomination programs is. So each province in Canada, they run their own immigration programs, which is called the provincial nomination programs. They to select candidates to meet their needs of labor and business. And all PNPs, they have created at least one program which is aligned to Express Entry, which allows candidate in Express Entry pool to receive nominations from provinces under Express Entry. So basically how it works is, if you have a profile in Express Entry, and provinces can access those profiles, and if they like your profile, they will send you an invitation, and with that invitation you get 600 additional points. So it is important to know why you need provincial nomination program. So let us quickly check that as well. Reason is you can get 600 additional points if you get an invitation to apply from any of the provinces. So that is the number one reason you need provincial nominations. Second one is if candidate has received a job offer from an employer in the province, or already living in a province, either by finishing his studies in Canada, or for he is working as a temporary foreign worker. He is eligible for various streams under the provinces to apply for permanent residencies. So basically they get more options other than express entry to immigrate to Canada. So let us now quickly run through the various provincial nomination programs. So there are total 11 provincial nomination programs, as you can see on your screen. You have the Alberta Immigration Program, you have the British Columbia Provincial Nomination Program, so then you have the Manitoba, similarly you have Nova Scotia Provincial Nomination Program, Ontario Immigration Program. So you have in all 11 provinces running all these programs. So now the question comes to which PNP program to apply. So let us also quickly understand that. So you can apply to different streams under provincial nomination programs basically. So under these 11 PNP programs, there are different streams for immigration, and if you have a combination of these conditions, then you can apply under these streams. So let us also quickly understand what are those conditions. So in all there are 81 provincial nomination streams, and if you have any one of these condition or a combination of these conditions true, then you can apply to these streams. So let us quickly check what are those conditions. So the number one is you can apply to the provincial nomination program if you have Canadian work experience, you have a family connection in Canada, you have studied in a designated learning institute in Canada, you have a valid job offer from a Canadian employer, you have experience in demand occupations in Canada or outside Canada, and if you have a valid express entry profile. So the combination of these various conditions or any one of these conditions, if it is true in your case, you can apply under these various streams. Let us now quickly also look at some instance of the streams. For example, the EEBC, which is a British Columbia immigration stream, which is called the EEBC skilled worker stream. You can apply to this stream if you have a valid express entry profile plus a job offer. Similarly, you have the Alberta express entry under the Alberta PNP stream for candidate having only a valid express entry profile. And you also have the EEBC international graduate stream under the BC PNP program, and any candidate can apply to this stream if he is having a valid express entry profile plus a job offer and he has studied in Canada in the province of British Columbia. So as you can see, these 6 factors determine your eligibility for applying under various streams in different provincial nomination programs. So please note here that this is not a complete eligibility criteria. So these 6 factors, however, are the main factors which are considered in all the streams under various provincial nomination programs. So any one of these factors or a combination of factors is a minimum eligibility criteria. Of course, there are other eligibility criteria like your IELTS score and your skill type or your NOC, which also determines your eligibility under these various streams. Let us also understand what else do you need to apply under these various streams. So the first and foremost document you need is your IELTS score, which I have already discussed. You should also have your NOC code ready, and you should also have your ACA report for your studies outside Canada. There are also some additional requirements for some of the streams, which is a job offer from a Canadian employer, Canadian work experience, or studies from Canada. So if you have these 3 additional documents, you have more options to immigrate to Canada. And also note that every provincial nomination program stream has its own eligibility criteria, so you should check before applying to any of one of these streams. Let us now understand what NOC and ECA is. So NOC stands for National Occupational Classification Code. So this is used for grouping jobs. So for immigration, so the main job groups include skill type 0 for management, skill type A for professional jobs, then you have skill type B for technical jobs, skill type C for intermediate jobs, and skill type D for labor jobs. And knowing your NOC code and type is very important for your application to Canada. And this is also required for express entry. So if you want to put your profile under express entry, you must have work experience in skill type 0, A or B. You can get the complete list of the various NOC codes on the link shown on the screen, and you can also get this link in the description. ECA stands for the Education Credential Assessment, which is used to verify your foreign degree, diploma or certification, its equivalency to a Canadian one. And ECA is also mandatory for immigration purposes. It is also a mandatory requirement for the express entry and also for all the streams under provincial nomination programs. So you can get the complete list of ECA designated organizations from where you can get your ECA reports on the link shown on the screen. So far we have discussed the express entry and provincial nomination programs, which are the two most popular immigration programs. But however, there are other programs as well which you can apply for immigration to Canada, which includes Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. You have the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program and the Agri Food Pilot Program. So let us briefly understand the various other programs. So the first one is the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, also known as AIPP, is an immigration program to hire candidates from overseas for jobs haven't been able to fill locally. And the participating provinces include the New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. For this program, you do not need any express entry profile, and this is a temporary immigration program. Overseas workers can apply to this program. You can get more details on the link on the screen and as well as on the description below. The second is your Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program. This program is a community review program to benefit smaller communities. Community means towns or local cities in different provinces, and they also need skilled workers to help them grow economically. So you can get the complete list of communities participating in this program on the link given on the screen. And for this program, there is also no need to have an express entry profile. Overseas workers can also apply to this program. And the third one is the Agri Food Pilot Program. So this is an industry-driven pilot program, especially targeting the agriculture industry in Canada. So if you have a Canadian work experience under the agriculture food industry, this is a very good option for you. So this is also again a temporary immigration program, and you need eligible Canadian experience to apply under this program. You can also check the complete details of this program on the link shared on the screen. I hope this video helped you understand the various immigration options you have to immigrate to Canada, and have given you a brief idea about the documentation requirements and the various factors you need to understand before you start your journey for immigration to Canada. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep on posting videos on the various provincial nomination programs and other related information for immigration to Canada. So do subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in my next video.